thanks so much for stopping by. I am starting my Easter cards. I've got a list of about 10 people that I'm going to be sending cards to. For this one, it's going to be for my grandma, and I'm going to be using this wooden stamp here, and it says Blessed Easter. This is a Craft Smart stamp that I've had for 1,000 years. Just kidding, no, but I really had it for a super long time. Now, if you look up here at all of my wooden stamps, I mean, I'm sure people have more, but I actually have duplicates. So I'm going to be doing a destash video on some Easter things, and you guys can have one of those. Now, I am not good at stamping, that was coming off, with wooden stamps because I don't press hard enough or whatever it is, and you cannot use these on the mini Misti. So I'm going to pull out an oldie but goodie. I didn't even check to see if they're still available, but I'm pretty sure they are. It's called a Stamp-A-Majig, and it's perfect for using on wooden stamps. So I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate that first. It's been a super long time that I've done this. Get my ink here. Okay, so the first thing you want to do, I'm leaving this piece of white paper underneath it so you can see it better. So you're just going to line up your Stamp-A-Majig with this, it's not acetate, but it's like acetate. It comes with it, so you get this and this with the Stamp-A-Majig. And you're going to ink up your wood block. I literally have like 4 huge containers of these wood stamps that I have to go through. And I'm going to tuck this in and push this in here and give it a good push. Alright, then I'm going to be using this here as my guide, and my paper that I'm going to put on the card as well. So I'm going to put that right there. I'm going to leave enough room that I can cut a little bit from the top and from the bottom. This isn't actually going on my card. I'm going to line that up like this, pull that away, ink it up, and I'm going to do it again. So what it does is it guides you if you need to ink it twice. It also helps if you're going to put it directly on the card, which I will be doing that as well on a different card. But this I'm going to be cutting and putting it on. Let's cover this and cut it. The paper that I found here is from a Stampin' Up! Paper pad. They're 4.5 by 6.5, and this one is called All Abloom. I've had this for a while as well, and it comes with 4 of these here. So I'm going to be using 2 of them, one for one layer, and then the flowers that will go on the top. I do need to cut these down. So this is the bottom layer. Let me push my other stamps out of the way. And I'm going to cut that down to, let's do it a little under 5.5. So there's just a little bit of a white border left. And then this one's going to go a little less than 4.25. Okay, and then this one here is going to be the top layer. And I'm going to do this one at 4 by 5.25. So that's going to be that layer there. I'm actually going to cut that down a little bit more just because I like more of that green. So I'm just going to slice off another 1/4 inch and see what we have there. That's nice. Now I want to save a piece of this. I just tossed it in my trash because I'm going to want to back my stamp. I have my Blessed Easter stamp with that. Okay, so this was an 8.5 by 11, which I cut in half, and it made my A2 size card. This design of a card, you know, it's nothing special, but it's fun, and I get to use some baker's twine on this one, which I forget that I have. All right, here's this, And I'm going to be using, these are just Recollections. And I liked this green because it was a little bit darker than like a lime green or anything like that. I'm just going to match up the edges. And what I like to do here is I like to get a little bit of score tape just to help me guide where I'm going. So I'm going to put that on the back. I'm not too weird about making sure that, you know, these are lined up. This is just a guide to hold that string. Otherwise, for me, it kind of slips all over the place and just gets annoying. Okay, so I'm going to pull these together, get my glue out of the way. And I want to be able to tie a bow, so I'm going to put a lot here on this end, like so. And then I'm going to cross it over. I may end up pulling a little bit more, yep, which is fine. So I'm looking at a good 12 inches here. Remember the first time I saw a design like this? I can't remember who did it. Might have been Creations with Christina. Very nice. Okay, I'm just going to give that a cut. So I've wrapped it around twice. And let's see if I can do a bow. Always a challenge for me. I did it, but I don't like how big it is. I want it to have a bigger tail. So let's make it a little bit smaller. Get around there. You know, I was wondering, this is actually March 26th, and if anybody out there is in that flooded area of Nebraska, I'm having a hard time doing this bow here. I just feel awful that you guys aren't getting, I mean, hopefully you're getting the help that you need, but we're just not seeing the progress or what's going on any of our local news. So my heart goes out to you guys. I hope everybody's okay. Okay, so there's my bow. Yeah, it took me a couple times, but that's okay. I do want to straighten it out there. Okay, let's go ahead and bring in this. I'm going to go ahead and layer this on top of the card now. See how that score tape just holds it down a little bit? That just helps me. And I do like to get my glue on the edges so that when I layer the edges and I push it down on it, it's going to not pop up anywhere. I love that color combination. Oh, it's so pretty. All right, so let's set this aside. I'm going to go ahead and get my paper trimmer. And the way I use my paper trimmer to make things so that they're even is, you do have the wire, that's your cut guide, but I put the wire underneath the letter, and then I bring it up just a little bit so it's underneath this one plastic thing, and then it's going to give me a little bit of an edge, or a border I should say. So I'm going to do the same thing with this. It gets a little harder once the pieces are smaller. I'm going to bring that down here, maybe a little bit more, just to, and it looks like it's pretty even. I'm going to hold this down here so my paper doesn't move, and then I've got an edge. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing here. I see my wire, and then I'm going to cover it right at the last letter right there. Flip it around, and same thing. The B is right there, just like that. Now I'm going to check to see if this is going to fit on there. Absolutely is. That's exactly what I wanted. I'm going to glue this on top of this little remnant. do just a little tiny strip here. Get that out of the way. Lining that white piece up to that. It's not quite dry, so it's giving me a hard time. And I can always trim it by hand if it doesn't turn out the way I want it to. I'm not real good at cutting straight. But I'm going to do it in because this piece has got too small. I do sort of have some pattern here that I can use as a guide. So that's what I will do. Okay, very nice. Other things you can do with this is you can ink up the edges and then put it on if you want to do that. Doesn't look like the glue got to that edge there. Okay, now I'm going to put this right down here with some foam adhesive. For some reason, I always feel like I need to pop this sentiment up every time I make a card. And then right down in this corner here, I'm going to put some really pretty enamel dots. I have a couple here I'm pulling out to see what colors I want to use. It's a little bit too light. That's a little bit too purple. Looking, oh, here's the green. I like this. These are from Outlet and Brad's. Got these at a Scrapbook Expo convention. I'm going to say like 5 or 6 years ago. And I'm liking this color right here. So I'm going to do enamel. And then the next size down. And then the teeny tiniest, which I find my Cricut spatula works really well for that. As long as I don't flick it across the room. Alrighty, people. So that's my first card. I'm going to be, like I said, using more of that Stamp-A-Majig. Not on all of them, but just because it's fun to do, you know. All right, everybody. Thanks so much. I'm just going to write her sentiment on the inside. Have a great day.